Momo asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and basically I just said it would make my life if they could put googly eyes on a pineapple. And then that happened, and I'm so happy.
Yay!
In my entire life. If you couldn't tell, I'm a pineapple right now. And I brought a book about pineapples. It's called Pineapple: A Global History. So we're going to have a little history lesson about pineapples. If the pictures themselves stay together. During his second voyage to the New World, Christopher Columbus came ashore on the 4th of November, 1493, in a newly sighted Caribbean island he had just named Santa Maria de Guadalupe, and promptly discovered the pineapple, Ananas camosus. Fun name, obviously. The occasion was not a ceremonial presentation beloved of later artists of the empire, like Francesco Bartolozzi, in which native chiefs came forward to offer the fruits and wealth of the land to foreign explorers. Instead, on landing, the Europeans made for a settlement that could have seen from the beach, only to find it deserted. The Tipanpa people have fled to the hills in fear. In the abandoned huts, they discovered many parrots with purple, red, green, blue, and white feathers, and calabashes full of fruit that looked like green pine cones, but were much larger and were filled with solid pulp, like a melon, but were much sweeter in taste and smell. In addition to its taste, they were fascinated by the appearance of the fruit and its curious quilted surface, resulting from the fact that the pineapple was not one fruit, but many. Each pineapple is composed of upwards of hundreds of individual berries fused together. Much later, it would be realized that a pineapple's skin is an example of a Fibonacci sequence, a pattern that draws the eyes and challenges the brain in the natural form of enchantment. Despite these attractions, pineapple's first sighting was a disappointment, because the aim of the voyages of the great European age of exploration had spanned the period from the beginning of the 15th century to the start of the 17th century, was to find riches in the form of gold, silver, pearls, spices, and precious stones. Pineapples are basically precious stones, so it's fine. The enduring legacy of these voyages would be enrichment of another kind. The discovery of new foods like the pineapple that would change forever the way Europe and the rest of the world ate. However, this was far in the future. Taking 7 parrots and some curious fruit, Columbus and his men returned to the ships and set sail for the great islands of Hispaniola, where the admiral made his landfall on his first voyage, where he knew gold was to be found. This was a new world in every sense, challenging all that had been known before, and everything the voyagers saw invoked wonder and fear in equal measure. Strange animals and fantastical birds made their homes in a magical setting that seemed to know no seasons. The air was perfumed with what seemed to be to the men to be smells of roses and other delicate but unknown blossoms. Plants produced fruit and seeds throughout the year in great abundance, apparently without human aid. And from ships, the luxuriant greenery seen on the shore gave the appearance of paradise gardens. Columbus wrote in his journal that the beauty of what he saw tempted him to stay there forever, but soon more practical considerations arose. Provisions brought from Spain began to run short, and the men had not yet learned what colonists would soon discover, that native food was more digestible and suited to the tropic climate than food imported from the Old World. When the ships were near the shore, Native Americans in canoes brought fresh water and food out to trade. Initially, the men were reluctant to partake because they were convinced that the natives ate many things that would not only sicken, but kill us if we ate them. Notably snakes, iguanas, and lizards. Only the pineapple appealed. It was soon realized that the first fruits found in Guadalupe had been of the small, wild sort, but there were larger cultivated pineapples that were even more delicious. Columbus's discovery of the plant was only the latest encounter in a chain that stretched deep into time in the Amazon heartland, where the pineapple is believed to have originated, along with the narcotic cocoa plant and cocoa tree, source of chocolate. The Tibanama people ate pineapple fresh, roasted over a fire, dried it, and made wine from it. As well as using pineapple as food and drink, they employed it as a medicine, made fibers for netting and pleating from the leaves, and used it to make poison for their arrowheads. By the time Columbus arrived in the New World, Native American activity over many centuries had spread the pineapple to present-day Brazil, Guiana, Colombia, parts of Central America, and the West Indies. It's basically fuck Columbus, but pineapples are great. And I have a little